Quiz review time. So we're going to start off with some graphing. To find the starting point, which is our first step in any problem here, we're going to look at the opposite of the value on the inside. So this would be positive 1, same as the value on the outside, which means negative 2. So I'm going to plot that on my table. And then go to the y equals, make sure I've got that equation in. Go to my table. I'm going to start with the value we're given, which is 1, negative 2. And then go down to the next whole number pair, which is 2 and negative 1. The next whole number pair is 5 and 0. And the last whole number pair, 10 and 1. Sorry, calculator got in the way of my hand. We're going to go and graph this. 1, negative 2, 2, negative 1, 5, 0, 10, 1. This is my graph. Now, to find the domain and range, remember domain is x, range is y. We can pre-fill those. We're going to look at domain is from left to right. So where along the x-axis does this graph start? It starts at 1. The arrow at the end shows that it goes to infinity. Remember, less than or equal to on the number side, just a less than on the infinity side. To find the range, we're going to go from bottom to top on the y-axis. Nothing, nothing, nothing until we reach negative 2. And the arrow on this side indicates it's going to keep going upwards also. Same thing, less than or equal to at the number side, less than on the infinity side. Number 2, we had a problem like this on the homework, and I had a couple people ask me about it. Now, on this one, we had the opposite of the value inside. There is no number inside the radical with x, which means that that number is going to be 0. The number on the outside is going to be the same. So we plug this into our calculator. Negative square root of x. Make sure that you press right to end that square root symbol. And plus 7. Go to our table. We should be starting at 0, so I'm going to scroll back up to 0. 0, 7. There it is. Next point, 1 and 6. Next whole number pair, 4 and 5. The next whole number pair is at 9 and 4. So those are our points. So let's start off with 0, 7, 1 and 6, 4 and 5, then 9 and 4. Here is my next graph. So again, my domain is x, my range is y. Domain from left to right, the graph begins at 0. The arrow shows that it goes off towards infinity. My number side gets a less than or equal to, my infinity side gets a less than. The confusing one here is the range. So we're going to start at the bottom. Now it doesn't look like there's anything down here, but this arrow over here indicates that it's not only going off to the right, but it's also going downward. So the bottom of this graph is actually going to be at negative infinity. The top of the graph is going to be at 7. Infinities get less thans, numbers get less than or equal to. Next one we have here, let me pull my camera down a bit. We have 2 radical x plus 3 plus 5. My starting point, opposite of the value inside, so that's negative 3. Same as the value outside, so that's 5. Let's go ahead and fill this in like so. Let's go to y equals and plug that in. We have 2 square root x plus 3. We're going to make sure that we click over one more to make sure we get out of that radical. And then plus 5. And we're looking. So I know that my graph should start at negative 3, so I'm going to scroll back up to negative 3. Negative 3, 5. Good to go. The next point on there is negative 2, 7. Okay. Next point after that, 1, 9. And let's keep looking, keep looking. Then I have 6 and 11. Now this last point I won't be able to graph because my graph only goes to 10 in either direction, but I have 3 points and that should get the job done for me. So I'm going to go negative 3, positive 5, negative 2, positive 7. Here, and then positive 1, positive 9, like that. So my graph is going to go up and off the graph like that somehow. Now, for my domain, again, x's, we're going to go from left to right. The graph begins at negative 3, ends at infinity. For my y's, we're going to start at the bottom, and the graph begins at positive 5 and goes off towards infinity there. Less than or equal to on the number side, less than on the infinity side. Okay, next graph, same deal. Look at the inside of the square root. I have negative x plus. Pause.